Like watching it this time, there was a depth to the color. There's a contrast that I haven't seen when I've watched it before in its digitized form when we've screened it in theaters, or when you watch it online. Like, it's just a different experience, and I was just very grateful to get to share that with you guys.
That's great. So we want to go back. We're going to come back to All Too Well, but I want to begin with you as a songwriter, because one of the things you're best known for are your lyrics, your songwriting. And your lyrics are memorized, right? They are studied by scholars.
Oh my God.
Yes, yeah. And I wonder, in your initial development as a songwriter coming up, how much of the process for you was visual?
It was always part of the process, because when I would write a song, I would immediately start thinking of, how do I want to present this on stage? If I made a music video for this, what would it look like? And then when I would create an album, partially through or halfway through, I would start conceptualizing, what does this album look like? What are the colors we're dealing with here? What are the themes? What are the aesthetics? Like, what do I want this to symbolize? Because I, from a very early point in my career, wanted to establish each album as its own era of sorts. And I think that it's really something that I can only thank the fans for, that you can't really do things like that if people don't care and pay attention to it. So it was always a part of the process, establishing the visuals. And early on, when we would make music videos, the process was, I'm 16, I'd reach out to a video director and I'd say, hey, I think it would be cool if the concept was that we were like, I'm in love with my best friend in high school, and he lives across the street, and but there's this cheerleader who he's dating, and then there's a football game, and then it ends with a dance, and there's these signs. Like, you'd come up with concepts.
Okay.
And over time, I started to take on more and more responsibility, and the more responsibility I took on creatively, the happier I was.
Right.
So here we are.
And here you are as a director. And what has your path through movies been? What films did you love growing up, and what images from movies still stay with you as a musician?
I think that it has fluctuated over time. I've always really loved certain films during certain phases I was in musically. Like, I made an album called 1989, and thank you for listening to it. I appreciate it. And I would watch John Hughes movies. I just watched 16 Candles and Breakfast Club all the time, just over and over. Thanks. And then, this would happen throughout my career for different things, but I remember the pandemic hit, and I was watching I remember watching 2 back-to-back Guillermo del Toro movies, Devil's Backbone and then Pan's Labyrinth.
Nice.
And so
good one.
my whole world turned into folk tales and forests and mythical creatures, and I was just so dazzled by those films. And I'd obviously, like, Shape of Water is one of my favorite films ever, but I hadn't seen those 2 very pinnacle films in his repertoire. And then I watched Rear Window, which I hadn't seen, which is embarrassing, but I hadn't seen it at that point, and it was very voyeuristic. It was very much like, he's watching his neighbors, and like, he sees a murder. I haven't experienced that, but I did experience combining some of those cinematic inspirations and films that I loved with, like, okay, so you end up with an album that is me telling stories from other people's perspectives in a very folk tale kind of...
a mix of Rear Window and Del Toro's movies in a way.
If I had to assign, the culprits cinematically, I would say it would be those 3 films.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, and then the next record, I was just nonstop watching Sense and Sensibility, the Ang Lee one, the Kate Winslet, just everything. Yeah. And that was for an album called Evermore. It's just, I have very specific film memories for things. But with this one, I think my obsession with, there is this, I don't know if it's actually something people talk about, but in my mind there's this period of time in the 70s where you started seeing these romantic films where they these two characters are so beautifully, intimately woven together, and then they just unravel the braid right in front of you, and you just can't believe it. Like The Way We Were and Love Story,
Yes.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that one.
Yeah,
Meryl
it's
Streep
just
is amazing in that film.
Yeah, and so those ones were ones that I think, because I love those films, just hitting those emotional touchstones that those films just punch me in the stomach and hit. And then I think in terms of modern films that I loved that probably lended themselves to making this film, I would say Marriage Story, really upsetting for months. I was not all right. And The Souvenir, Part 1 and 2.
Oh, yes. Joanna Hogg's
Joanna
films.
Hogg's films.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love that she... I had actually made the short film by the time I went and saw The Souvenir Part 2. And the fact that it's about this young woman who experiences this extreme heartbreak and despair and then makes something. I was just like, oh, that's exactly,
Speaking to you.
that's exactly what I want to see in a film. So...
You mentioned the 70s. I heard that you also like John Cassavetes'
Yes,
films
yes,
from the
yes,
70s.
yes.
Also big heartbreak, big emotion.
Yeah, and I just think I don't know, I just really love how he allows despair and human emotion to just play out.
Yeah.
It just is allowed to breathe and play itself out.
You see the loose ends,
Yes.
right? It's not tied up.
You feel like you're really in that house with
Yeah.
that fight going on, and it's just harrowing.
Yes. Well, the fight that you crafted here also feels that way, and I love how the music stops and you really begin to see their relationship kind of disintegrate
Yeah.
and then come back together a little bit, but it feels like it draws on some of that same kind of spirit from those 70s movies.
Such a nice thing for you to say to me. I think you can tell a lot about people based on how they fight or argue. And I think with this film, I went into it having scripted out a few different scenes and knowing that I wanted to show one of them in depth and at length. And when it came time to shoot, you know, we filmed them breaking up. We filmed them falling in love, some of the dialogue with that. But I kind of, as we got closer to it, I was like, it's going to be the fight. It's going to, I think that we had scripted it out, but I had talked to Dylan and Sadie so much about what their intentions were and who and what exactly it is that's the catalyst for this fight and why it's not about him just dropping her hand. It's about this entire just molecular structure where she feels out of place and he feels unequipped to handle that. And it all comes back to being in different places in their lives, having this huge gap of age difference between them. She's still got one foot in girlhood, one foot in this very adult world. His life is very cultivated. I just felt like we had talked so much about it that I was dealing with such emotionally intelligent actors, and we talked so much about this that when we actually shot, it ended up being like, I think probably 92% of that scene is a oneer.
Really?
Yeah, we don't cut till the very end until he says, "Why don't look at me like that?"
Yeah.
That's the first time we cut. And we were just, my producer Saul and I were just at the monitors, just like there was like a death clutch as we're watching this, because we're like, oh my God, like we're injuring each other's arms at this point, like, but also trying not to make a sound because we're just so in awe of how much we could trust these actors with every single bit of the scene, the story, the weight.
So much is in the writing, I think, as well, your writing, because
Aww.
you really... I'm serious.
Thanks.
You know, for me, when I was watching, I've seen this short film many times now, and what I really got from it is that she does not feel seen in that relationship, and she's trying to tell him about an instance where she did not feel seen in the company of his friends, and he's not really getting it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's such a powerful moment because they're so intimate and yet so far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really amazing takeaway because I've always been very fascinated, and one of the reasons I wanted to make a short film and not a music video for this song is because I've been fascinated with the dynamic of the age of the character that Sadie's playing, and what a precarious age that is when you could fit back at your family home, sort of, but you sort of don't. You could fit in an adult's cultivated apartment where they have like a French press and they have all the things that adults have, but you kind of don't. So you kind of fit everywhere, but you kind of fit nowhere. And I think that plays into a little bit of where she's coming from. And I have to credit Dylan too with the fact that I know that he's gaslighting her, and I know that he's like, I know it's problematic, but I'm watching that and I'm like, he is so charismatic. He is charismatic, problematic, and I am still sort of rooting for them to work through this, right, because he makes some charming points. Yeah. And he does it in a really, really, like, I don't know, just the way that they both played it, I was just blown away.
It's beautiful, because I'm sure so many people relate to it as well, because charismatic, problematic, definition of a boyfriend, maybe?
An ex-boyfriend.
Okay, an ex-boyfriend. I don't know how far we want to go with that, but...
Zero.
Zero, that's
Nowhere.
You mentioned music videos, and I do want to go back. Because before you directed this film, you began to have increasing visual input into the making of your music videos. And I want to ask about that process, how you were drawn to getting into the creativity of the music videos as opposed to just being on camera. The collaborators, you've worked with a couple of directors quite a lot. And I'm just curious to know what that process was like for you to get more and more creative input and control ultimately into your videos.
Yeah, it was a baby steps process. It wasn't like I woke up one day and I was like, you know what I want to do? Direct. Like that was never something that I was programmed to say to myself, because I didn't go to film school. I've been on the set of 60 plus music videos, and I've learned a lot from that process, because I've always got my eyes and ears open, and I'm always looking at shots and thinking, I like that one, I don't like that, why and why not? I like that lighting, I don't like that light, why and why not? And so you kind of are learning based on your experience, but I had a really, really close creative relationship with Joseph Kahn, who's just like a legend in music videos. He did Toxic by Britney Spears, which is like, just to like give you an example of what we're dealing with. And we made several music videos, and we got to the point where I'd call him up and I'd be like, okay, wrote this song called Look What You Made Me Do. I want to come out of the ground as a zombie, right? We're seeing my hand out of the ground, and then I'm dead, and then I'm in a bathtub of diamonds, and then there's a mountain of me's trying to kill the current me, and he'd be on the phone and be like, yeah, I know exactly what we're doing. Okay, amazing. And so like that, having that relationship where like essentially it got to the point where I was sort of starting to write the treatments to the videos, and I then decided it might be really cool to co-direct and to step into that role. And so I got to co-direct a few videos with incredible collaborators, and I learned what it was like to start writing in-depth treatments and shot listing and really leaning into it. But when I did it on my own, that was when I really learned everything.
Yeah. Because you have to, I guess.
You have to, and it was so surprising to me, because I didn't really want to turn back after that. I just had so much fun. The first video I directed on my own was a video called The Man. And it's weird because I'm prosthetically turned into a dude for the whole video. So this was the first video I ever directed on my own. So if you can imagine me trying to direct child actors while I'm dressed prosthetically as a man, I've got like prosthetic, like rubber, whatever they put on you, on my face, and I'm trying to like talk to little kids about what their action is, and they know something's not quite right, and their mom told them that this is Taylor Swift, but they don't really understand how that could be possible.
Yes. You have a beard, and you have a bodysuit on.
It was honestly like, it was incredible. The experience was so wild and wonderful, and I got to work with the incredible Rodrigo Prieto as my DP, which I still can't believe that happened to me. Because he's just so incredible. Yeah, and so that happened, and then the pandemic happened, and I ended up directing in the middle of the sourdough early phase of the pandemic. This video called Cardigan, and thanks. And then I did another one for a song called Willow, and that was when I thought, I feel like I could do more. I feel like I feel like I'm ready for more, and so that was when I decided to make the short film for All Too Well.
You also draw from movies for some of the imagery in your films, and there's these great references. The Man reminded me at the beginning, anyhow, Wolf of Wall Street.
Thank you.
There's
honestly,
such a vibe there.
Deeply on purpose.
Yeah, okay.
I love that film.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that film so much. So it was kind of like an homage. You know?
Sure.
People, when you reference things, like, people don't know if you're trolling or if you're like, I love that film. I absolutely love that film.
And
I really
then the Bad Blood video is all like futuristic action movie. Universe
it's
there.
The espionage. That's a phone call with me and Joseph Kahn where I'm like, what if Selena kicks me out a window and tries to kill me, but I don't die, and then I go to spy school and they all teach me how to fight. And he's like, yeah, and there's explosions, and so that was a blast, and that was kind of like tipping our hat to the kind of spy thriller genre.
Yes. All right, so I want to ask you more about going from the videos that you directed to this one, the short film, because it feels like, just in terms of your creative evolution, there's more ambition here, you're doing more with it, shooting on 35, longer format, there's a whole dramatic, intense scene there, which could have come out of Marriage Story, almost,
I need some water.
No, but it has that
so
kind
cool
of
you to say that.
Emotional intensity. It's raw, like that Noah Baumbach film is. So I want to ask about just putting that film together, particularly the technical side of it, deciding to shoot on 35 millimeter, deciding on the 1.33 aspect ratio, that kind of old vibe and the richness of those colors and the shallow focus, all of those things are decisions that you made, and I want to know what those decisions were toward. What was the impact you wanted from all of those things?
Well, all the decisions that you make, it's such a beautifully collaborative process. You make decisions, based on your idea as to how you want it to feel, how you want it to look, and then you bring on people you trust. Like, I trust Rena Yang, our DP, implicitly. I absolutely was so lucky to get to work with her, and brought her on early on and showed her my endless mood boards and my references and what I was looking for in terms of lighting and color and texture. And it was pretty apparent that we both wanted to shoot on 35 millimeter. I did not know how to do that.
Sure. Yes.
I've never done it before.
People mostly don't do that anymore.
Yeah. And so she's excellent at it. And so, she was the one who was like, I think we should shoot, interiors on Vision 3 500T stock. I think we should shoot the exteriors on Ektachrome because I love the way that the greens are going to pop.
Your film stocks, Taylor.
She taught me a lot.
Okay.
She really taught me a lot, and I never would have known anything at all without her. So, it was also kind of talking about making intentional, purposeful decisions about lighting, warm tones versus cool tones, and how we want her apartment to feel versus his world to feel. And we wanted them to feel very different. And we figured, since we're dealing with a short film, we don't have a lot of time to say much about their identities. So we wanted to make technical, subtle decisions in terms of lighting and set design. We worked with the incredible Ethan Tobman. And one of my favorite references of set design is in The Way We Were. Barbara Streisand plays this character called Katie, and her apartment, when you look at her apartment, that's who she is. It's her interests, it's her politics, it's the books she reads, it's who she is. Yeah. And I wanted, Sadie plays a character named Her. I wanted her apartment to to be her. I wanted it to look like who she is. And I wanted the same for his space. You know, clean and cool and minimalist and mature and sophisticated and elegant and sexy and dark. So
you see that, and sometimes audiences pick that up consciously, but sometimes they're just kind of absorbing it. They don't even know that they're actually understanding more about the character by watching their environment.
that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I want to ask you about casting Dylan O'Brien and Sadie Sink, and not just each individual actor, but the two of them together. That's important too.
Yes. I don't know if it was a decision. It was what my heart needed for this film. It was like it was a very instinctual decision based on having watched their performances. And if I had to assign analytical thought to it, I would say I had never seen either one of them play roles like this before. And I'd seen them just ace anything that was put in front of them, and I just thought, I wonder if Sadie Sink wants to play a romantic lead. I know I haven't seen it yet. I think she's at that perfect point in her career where she could, I think she could absolutely, as the kids would say, eat this up.
Yes.
You know, and basically with Dylan, it was that charisma that I'd seen his films, and I'd seen him, even just him doing an interview, you can see that he's got this just like, you know, this dangerous charm. Like him as a person, he's not a dangerous, but he's dangerously charming, and that he's just like, that is a power that he has. And so I was I also just, when I write, I really gravitate towards, you know, looking up to writer-directors, because that's the way that I can make sense of writing, and then knowing what shots I want and directing, if I've written it. And then when I was writing it, I just was writing Sadie. Like, I wasn't thinking of any other actress or thinking of a generic, beautiful, wide-eyed young person. I was writing it for Sadie, and if she would have said no, I just don't know if I would have made the film, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I also just really, really wanted them both to say yes, because I know we have to compromise in life, but I didn't have a backup plan, and I didn't want to compromise. And I was just so happy that they trusted me and that they believed in me. And I was a first-time short film director, and I couldn't believe that they wanted to do it. I still can't believe that anybody wanted to do this with me. I'm so happy about it.
Well, you delivered, right?
Thank you for saying that.
That's all you need. Did you screen test them together or rehearse with them together? Like,
No.
none of that.
I
You just knew you wanted.
texted Dylan the longest text you've ever seen. Like, it was when I read it back, I was like, that was too much. And straight up, like, reached out to Sadie's team, and we're just like, we want to make something. You know, was it a text or a call?
It was a text first.
Long text and then a call. I was just like, please. Like, I wasn't trying to be cool at all.
No, chill.
I was like, I promise, no one will work harder to make this good than me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I went that far, but I was just, they were amazing. They didn't need to be convinced in a way that I was able to pick up on. So I was so happy, because you want to make things with people who are excited to make things with you. I don't really do that well with people who are like, I'm not sure about you, prove it. Like, I'm okay, I will, but that's not as fun. Like, if I have to do it, I will prove it. But it would be so much better if you just really wanted to make stuff with us.
Yeah.
And so that's what we were lucky enough to have.
All of the evolution we've been talking about, from beginning to contribute to and collaborate on music videos to making your own short films, and this one, particularly recently, it's coincided with you taking back control of your music.
Yeah.
Which we've all been following and celebrating. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I really appreciate you saying that. But if you're new to this saga, what Cameron's referencing is that basically I I started out on an indie record label I signed when I was a teenager, and I had always had the hope, desire, and dream of buying back my master recordings for my first 6 albums when it came time to, when my record deal was fulfilled. When my deal was done, that didn't happen. My music was all sold to an outside party, and yeah. But basically, what happened was like a period of like extreme despair for me, and then I came out of that and said to myself, if I made that music the first time, I can make it a second time, and it was so exciting, honestly, to get to do something that I haven't really seen done in the music industry in this particular way.
Stroke of genius.
That is so nice. That is so
really.
nice.
This is brilliant. Really.
And so basically, we treat them like they're big releases. Like we do a whole album. We redo the entire photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we make music videos, and sometimes we make a short film. Mm-hmm. And so it's really been, honestly, insanely beautiful, because you have like, you know, my friend's daughter is like 12, and her friends were saying like, oh, like we love this new Taylor Swift song that just came out called You Belong With Me. And I was like, who's going to tell her? No, like, don't tell her. That's a really old song that came out in like 2008 or something. Mm-hmm. So it's really been an amazing opportunity to revisit my old music, make exact copies of the old music. And what I also do now is there were a lot of songs that I wrote that didn't end up on the album. So we call those songs from the vault tracks. So I record them, I put them out. So it's been really wonderful, and it's only been possible because the fans actually want this to happen. I can't believe that too. Like, that's amazing that you guys have been so wonderful about it. But basically this song, All Too Well, the 10-minute version, has a very long story. It is a story about as long as the song, but I'll try to make it shorter. This was a song that originally was released on an album called Red in 2012. Thank you so much. You guys are great. And it was a song that I loved so much, but it was never chosen by, you know, an A&R team in a conference room as being a single. Nobody saw the potential in it, except for the fans, who loved it so much that they made it sort of their favorite song on that album. For me, the song was so tough because it was about something that at that point was very current for me. I would have like a really hard time performing it at the time. Like, I had to really like force myself to focus on other things to try to get through it during tour. So there would be no world in which I could have made a visual element to that song at that point in time. I needed 10 years of sort of retrospect in order to know what I would even make to tell a version of that story visually. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do that with some crazy stroke of all these different twists of fate. Can't believe it.
Do you make a connection between coming to the point where you can create your own images and owning your own music? What's the connection?
I think it's very connected, and not in a way that was conscious, but I think in a way where, you know, hopefully the more years you live, the more things you learn, and you hope that you get braver as time goes on. And I've been very lucky to, you know, when I've taken these baby steps creatively, I've been very lucky to have people go like, no, go further. It's great. We like, keep going. You know, it's, and I think I would have really tried to keep expanding creatively, even if I had been like squashed the first time I tried to make something. But it was really beautiful that we're in a place where hearing the idea of a female filmmaker doesn't make you roll your eyes or think as skeptically as it once was. And we have, you know, so many incredible female filmmakers to thank for that.
Yes.
Like, you know?
A lot of them here during the festival.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just feel really grateful. Like you think about people like Nora Ephron, who, you know, there's people who paved the path, and then there's like Nora Ephron, like in the forest with a machete, just like hacking, like to where the path will be paved. And I think about writer-directors like that who inspired the writer-directors who inspired me. It's like a whole, I think about people like that all the time.
Me saying that, but it's dead true.
No.
Please welcome Taylor Swift. Yes. Taylor, I mean, listen, I've got it here. It's been 531 days. 440 hours. I don't even know how many this is.
12,744.
That's it, thank you. Taylor Swift, you've got brand new music out. This is amazing.
I'm so excited. And thank you so much for talking to me.
People are just very happy you're back. I mean, first of all, let's start with the music video. What was it like to film this? Because it's incredible.
First of all, like that record and that number in general completely astonishes me. Like the fans doing that is so amazing. And I'm just so happy about that. Like I love my job legitimately. I love doing it. And it's just so fun when they make it so fun to make a music video. Like when we're planning a music video and I know that it'll be really fun for them if we create like a scavenger hunt throughout the video. Like to me, that's more fun than when I used to make videos and I didn't try to plant clues.
Yeah.
Like I love this. It's all bred from the fact that they've let me know over the years that they really are looking for every single detail, so that if they weren't interested in the details, then I wouldn't have fun putting them in the video.
But there are so many little things that are hidden inside it. I mean, we've got an album name apparently hidden inside there as well.
There's basically when new music comes out, when more music comes out, they'll realize that there are dozens of lyrical references and symbolic references. But I try to do Easter eggs in like kind of first round is like stuff that they can see that predicts what will happen in a couple months. There's also like second tier Easter eggs, which will be revealed upon the album. Then there's third tier Easter eggs, which are the most deeply embedded Easter eggs, which will be like shown on the tour.
Oh, I'm so
I
excited.
feel like you're the type of person that I'd want to talk to about like conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Also the track, Taylor, it's with Panic at the Disco's Brendan Urie. That's insane. That's incredible. How did that happen?
He's amazing. I've always been such a big fan of his. And back on the tour last summer, I went online afterward and the fans were like, oh my God, I saw Brendan Urie at the show tonight. And I was like, oh man, I would have loved to have said hi to him because I'm such a big fan. And in my head, I was like, okay, I've got to think of if there's any kind of opportunity in the future for us to work together, like I've got to think about that to happen. And then when I was in the studio and I wrote the first half of the song Me with Joel Little, who's amazing, we kind of thought this should be a duet because we don't want it to just look, we want it to look like there's confidence on both sides of a relationship and that's what makes a relationship fun. So we wanted to have a kind of guy's perspective or like a love interest perspective. So I was thinking about people and I was like, who's going to be as excited and enthusiastic about performing this, making this? Who's going to bring a playful mischief to it? Because the song isn't taking itself seriously. The song's seriously like, we were like, we can have none of this that seems serious. And so Brendan's got that kind of cheeky, mischievous, playful kind of vibe, and he's so enthusiastic, gives 100% of his enthusiasm to everything he does, and it really just lifts the energy up.
So this track's going to be on your album, right? And when is the album coming out?
I haven't exactly told people yet.
You can tell us now.
I'm so flattered that you're curious. I mean, I'm definitely going to tell people at a certain point in time, but I kind of have a way I want to go about doing it. Not that this isn't the way that I want to go about doing it, but
Forget the promo plan. Just say it now. If you want, I'll tweet it. I'll tweet it, Taylor. I can tweet it. It's fine.
Okay, have you named the album then?
oh yeah, definitely.
What's the name?
What's the name?
It's in a music video. You got to find it in there. Yeah.
Oh my
You got
god.
to find it in there. Just before we go, there is one thing that we've heard about, which is Cats the musical.
Yeah.
So Cats the musical. Am I right in thinking you're heading into that?
Yeah, I filmed, actually filmed it in London all throughout this winter. I filmed the Cats movie. I'm playing a little musical British cat.
And then what a way to end this interview. You're playing a little musical British cat.
Lovely.
Taylor, thank
The
you
best
so much.
kind.
Taylor, thank you so much. And we'll see you soon when you're back in the UK.
Awesome. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
See you later, mate. See you for Taylor
This was
Swift.
fun.
Yes.